Welcome to the Beautiful Step Podcast,
where we
run,
stomp,
tiptoe,
and tango into the confusing
but beautiful
world of togetherness. We are your hosts, Kris
and Charity.
Now, let's go make our together even better. You're starting by laughing.
Well,
what were you laughing at? My hat?
No, I like your hat. And you've got a nice, do they call it a cardi? Is that the short name?
No, it's not a cardi. That's chickish. It's a smoking jacket. It's a dude's thing. Check it out.
Oh, it is a smoking
cool?
jacket. That's so nice.
It's a Scotch and soda. I paid full price for this.
Wow.
I usually...
I like how you clarified if you paid full price.
I'm being you right now.
I know.
Every time I compliment you on something that you're wearing, anyone compliments you, you say, you tell them the price.
I'm like, TJ Maxx, $10. You can go down and get one yourself.
I wouldn't do that.
It's my inner sales. But you're like, I paid full price for Scotch and soda.
Well, it just shows commitment.
Oh.
It shows commitment. It shows a lot about values and, so if a person brings something beautiful into the world that they've created, such as a Scotch and soda smoking jacket, I want to affirm them in that by paying full price. I don't go to TJ Maxx.
Where you took this.
Perpetuate the sweatshops of the world.
Oh, as if Scotch and soda isn't using sweatshops.
You know where this is made? Do you know where this is made?
India.
There's not.
Oh, it's true, babe. I know. Okay, but I do like it, and you do look cute.
Every podcast, you start with what I'm wearing. So
That's
I figured
I
would start with what I'm wearing today.
It's because you're a fashionista.
Fashionistor.
Is that the male
You're
version?
bringing Spanish in? You want to bring some Spanish in?
Is that the male version of a fashionista?
El fashionistor.
Well, you're one of those.
Okay. Talk to me, babe.
We
Where
we were laughing the other night because somebody we know and was posting this social media post, all about the craziness of their life and their family's life. And this is always the case with this group of people.
There's a certain level of crazy.
There
always
is
happens.
Always a level of chaos that's like, and it's always blasted to the world, right? Like it's like, and I always find it funny because these same people who are willing to blast other people on social media are the same people that will do these cryptic posts. Like, remember the guy in the neighborhood who was like, the pool
guy. I was like, I don't frequent social media as much as I should. I need to get my virtual self going, but this one was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, the pool was down for maintenance, and everybody in the neighborhood was kind of upset because it was the summertime and it was hot. And these
are memberships to the pool.
Yeah, right. And so, but everybody's having pity on the people who own the pool who are also part of the neighborhood.
So bad.
And so this guy starts posting like stuff about like,
don't you hate it when you pay a membership that you can't use?
Right.
And your kids are bored all summer. It's like, dude, what do you?
And then everybody's like, just be honest and say that you're mad that the pool's not open. And he's
email the pool.
I know.
Okay. And just email or call Bev.
He took it to the grave. He was like, no. I'm not necessarily talking about the pool. I'm talking about any time that anytime I'm paying for stuff that I don't get to use, I'm mad. And then people and he just would not actually admit it.
It's not the pool.
Yeah.
I swear it's not.
But it's like this weird passive aggressive ish where you're like, well, I'm going to throw it out there and try to throw somebody under the bus. But what it does is it's like those kind of people are a trigger for me because I'm like,
no,
you're chaos, dude. And I'm allergic to chaos.
The chaos thing. Okay. So here's chaos. I was talking to Lonnie because we talk. And Lonnie Ridgway is one of my favorite people in the world. I like to hear his voice.
Oh,
it's like
he sends you these.
He tells me
messages.
He's like, you want some chocolate voice right now, baby? Like I love it. And not only that, so he has a podcast with his daughter.
Oh, it's awesome. It's called Dad Stop.
I love it's. I mean, just listening to that, Brookie's so cute. Yeah. She's just such a sweetheart. But anyway, he was talking about this idea of chaos, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, there's those people that that are always just in chaos. Their life is chaotic.
Constantly. Yep.
Like actual chaos.
It could be just different things all the time.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, of course. You could get bit by a shark in a mud puddle. Like you just have chaos going on all the time. It's either financial or relational or spiritual. So like,
and it's not good chaos. It's not like good busyness, like good stuff is happening and so it's keeping you busy. It's like chaos, like, man, you just got a bunch of lame stuff happening all the time.
Yeah, horrible stuff.
Drama.
Yeah, like drama, yeah, whether it's abuse or death or, on and on. And so what he was saying is like there's that physical world of chaos.
Yeah.
And that it's always manifest in those people's life. And it's just an indication of that inner chaos that's going on inside their spirit.
All the external things.
Isn't that good? Like I was like, dude, such a great point. Like if you have that inner chaos, you're not going to have outer order.
No. In fact, what's so interesting, like, so we I'm a State Farm agent. So one of the things that's interesting is like, we know that when somebody's going through a divorce, when we start to do things like change their name and their address and they're telling us they're getting divorced, we already know the actuarial data says this person is now much more likely, 2 and 3 times more likely to get in an accident in the next couple of months.
That's
because
crazy.
Their mind is in disorder because everything's chaotic. And they're worried and they got stress happening.
Crazy.
And so we know that their external things like their driving patterns and them paying attention while driving and them spacing out or them being tired.
So do you guys hike their rates as soon as they get a divorce?
Absolutely no. But it is a thing. It is a thing like, and we know like once one accident happens, we know there's like more to follow because it usually there's chaos.
Wow. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
So I'm a religion major.
Yeah.
And I've been really enjoying comparative religion. And to this week or over the next couple of weeks, we're talking Hinduism.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. By the way, if you've never looked into Hinduism.
Beautiful religion.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so cool. There's so many cool things.
It's actually would you say it's less of a religion and more of a philosophy?
There's so many types and there's so much to Hinduism that you could call it a monotheistic, which means like a one God religion because there is Krishna, but that's just a certain sect of Hindus because there's also polytheists. So, like you have that lady with all the arms and such.
Yeah.
Like, and then you have all these different gods. So it's polytheism. So there's different gods, but depending on like kind of how you view Hinduism, some Hindus are atheists. They're just fully human. So it's just this weird, not weird. I'm sorry. That's wrong. It's just there's the breadth of
it's really vast
and depth of spirituality within what we call Hinduism today. That's really fascinating. Anyway, one of the things that is sort of constant through Hinduism is this idea that they don't pit good against evil. They don't show you a dichotomy of like, these are good people and these are evil people. This is a good deed. This is an evil deed. What they do is they say, They pit chaos against order.
Ooh, I like that.
Isn't that kind of cool?
That's a really cool
It's
thought.
not so much that your actions are good or they're evil. They're either chaotic or they're orderly. And they have this idea that everyone knows about sort of this cosmic duty that they have to fulfill. You would call it like the conscience or something like this. Like you would call it like like everyone knows kind of good and bad or chaos and order. They call it dharma.
Okay.
And the opposite of
dharma is the good.
Dharma is like your sacred duty. Like you just kind of know you're not supposed to kill people. You just kind of know that you're not supposed to cheat on your wife. You just know these things. That's dharma, right?
Okay.
And then you have adharma. Adharma. It's basically an A before dharma. Adharma, however you want to say it. And that is when you just act in chaos. And you're acting against sort of that sacred.
What you know to be kind of.
Right. And so
your duty in life.
Right. I know I'm getting nerdy, but then there's karma. Everyone knows. Like, I don't want to do that because somebody have bad karma. And karma is that.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I met her. It's not good. No, but there's karma, and that is the interplay between that dharma, the cosmic duty, and the physical world, right?
Ooh.
Right. And
so it's the actions.
Right. And karma kind of keeps pushing you towards your sacred duty.
Your dharma.
Your dharma. So, yeah.
Karma's pushing you towards your dharma.
Right. Don't do your dharma, baby. You're going to get some karma. I love it. It's like these people were rappers. It's just this. Anyway, all of that to say, I thought it was super important that what a different shift. Because you have good and evil is such a Western construct. It's such, Islam, Judaism, Christianity is like, there's good people and there's bad people. There's
Western thought. Yep.
And what I've been doing lately, I think over the last year, I have been like, well, I don't think it's even over the last year. I think up until very recently, I've been like, I think those people are evil. Like,
right.
Generally talking
categories
about,
and
yeah, talking about people who are like just bad people. You know what I mean? Like, those are bad.
Which by saying that, you mean people you don't like.
Kind of, but then also people who have either crossed me or hurt me.
Ooh, yeah.
Or they just always seem to like, like I've always said, like, if someone loves you and they see that you're weak, they're going to build you up. If someone either is contemptuous of you or is jealous of you and they see you weak, they're going to kick you while you're down.
Yeah.
Like, and those people are the people who are like sort of, I would say, like, those are evil people. Those
right.
are
Yeah.
bad people.
I've heard you use that, and I've used that phrase. Yeah.
Exactly. And Hinduism comes in and goes like, smacks me across the head and goes, look, it's not so much that they're good or bad. It's that they just live in full on chaos. Those are chaotic people that they're just denying the order of, how things are going to go well. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
I thought that was a really interesting way.
I like that a lot because what it does for me is it is more accurate. I feel like it's a more truthful statement because
it seems more fair.
It's more fair, but even without the whole like, hey, this is the more PC way to view people, I actually think it's more accurate because for me, no one is intrinsically evil. I don't believe where it's like,
Ooh, controversy.
I know.
Right there.
I've met very few people that I'm like, they're actually evil to the core. I mean, I could probably list 3 in my life where I've been like,
yeah, and I know those 3 people, and I would say, yeah, they're evil.
Like, but in general, I would say most people, like what we're talking about, is like you just have some people who like can't get out of this chaos cycle, and it's making them do stupid stuff all the time,
right?
Or be a part of relationships that are just terrible, or not be successful with their money or their time or their relationships are out of order, all that other kind of stuff. And it doesn't necessarily make them good or bad. It makes them chaotic or not chaotic. So exactly. I feel like it's a more accurate assessment of what we're talking about.
And I feel, I guess I would add to it like this, like, look, if your life is in chaos, you're in a darker place than you think.
Yes. It's so true.
And so that's my thing is like, I'm like, well, how chaotic is my life? Or how chaotic is your life? Or like, if I'm in like, cause there's times when I feel like things are chaotic and then how do I get myself out and all that, like.
Yeah. And there's seasons of chaos where you're like, why does everything seem so chaotic right now? And it usually revolves around like a confusion about where you're supposed to be going next.
Of course.
Or like, cause you talked about external things impacting your internal controls.
Right. Okay. So hold on. If we do this thing where it's like, well, the right way to live is orderly. Mm-hmm. The wrong way to live is chaotic. How do you do the order thing? How do you keep your life in order, Charity?
Well, you talked about internal and external controls.
Yeah.
I think in order for me to feel in control, I have to first order my external life. So I'm just going to give you an example. If I wake up and go down the stairs and the house is a mess because we were retired and we had too much wine and we didn't clean up the dishes or whatever, I start the day off feeling chaotic. Like I don't get to sit. Yeah. Like for some reason, there's something in me that really can't relax, which actually affects all of my thinking.
It affects me too because you're mean. You're not mean. You're just like busy. I just get chaotic. Actually, I mean that's the perfect. I can tell you're off, and I'm like, oh.
It's not it's not mean or unmean. It's just like all of a sudden, Charity's like got a little chip on her shoulder.
She's evil this morning. Everyone, watch out.
She's a little chaotic.
You're just chaotic.
And what I'm not saying is like, oh, everything has to be perfectly in order all the time. What I'm saying is like, I recognize that there are certain things that kind of trigger inner chaos for me. One of them is like, if I go to my office and it's a mess or I've got all these unanswered emails that I haven't paid attention to for a couple of days, which I don't ever allow myself to do because actually for me, it's much easier if I manage those all along the way so that I never feel really out of control.
You're the only person in the world that can do that.
No.
Are there other people like you?
Yes, I'm sure there are.
Uh-uh.
But what I'm getting at is, for me, I manage the way I internally feel about chaos by first managing external controls.
So if you manage your external life, if you order that,
like I feel
your inner life will follow.
Yes, like
Wow.
I feel much more peaceful.
That's so different
I
than me. It is, I think.
Well, right. I feel peaceful if I sit down. If I'm feeling confused, if I can sit down and make a list and a schedule and order my external life, then everything internal will follow.
Okay, stop. Because for me, I'm like, if I sit down and make a list, or I'm like, if I look at the 100 things that I have to do, and I'm like, yay, I'm gonna go put those things in order so I can feel less chaotic. I'm like, that's not necessarily how I do it. I go like, for me, I have to get my inner world in order before I can get my outer world in order. Like,
how do you do that?
Well, I have to do this whole thing where I'm like, I have to answer the question why. Like, so I show up to my shop, my office, right? And I look at it and I'm like, okay, I know I have to clean this, but I don't want to, and I'm kind of pissed about it. And I have a bad attitude, and I can exist with it being messy. Like, I'm like, yeah, no, I can totally, because creation is messy. Like, birth is messy.
Yeah.
Like, I get into this, like, so what I have to do is, in order for my outer world to be in order, I have to order my inner world, right? So I have to go like, what is the why here? Oh, yeah, that's right. I need to get all of these things in order because I'm making this run of bags or whatever the big picture is. I have to have that in play in my mind up front before I can do any ordering of my external world.
Yeah.
For instance, like, we've been talking about moving all the time, right?
Yeah.
And it's that whole thing of like, I don't want to pack all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to make me feel any better to pack all this stuff, right? And I whine and cry about it. I have to go like, okay, time out. The reason why are we doing this? Well, it's because we're going to go be with our grandkids. Well, because we're moving. Why is that good? Because that's dharma. That's the right thing to do with your life. That's what you want to do with your life. You know what I mean? Like, it's that whole, you have something to impart to them, right? Like, and so I have to get that why in front of me quite often.
It's the rehearsal. For me, I think what you're saying is, I'm hearing you say, like, for you, the little step that you would take, the next beautiful step you would take,
yes,
when you're feeling chaotic, is to be rehearsing the why you're doing what you're doing to help you kind of figure out like what step you need to
That's
take.
how I pull myself back in order.
Okay.
I find myself doing that quite a bit. I go, what are the things that I really love? Wait a minute, why am I doing this again? What's the most important thing? Oh yeah, no, that's right.
Right.
And so therefore I can employ that discipline.
Right. And for me, I don't go there. I'm like, okay, just Charity, what's the next for you? Then, for me, the next beautiful step is like, okay, what's going to make me feel a little better right now, which would be like, okay, I'm just going to clean out this one drawer, and like, then I'll like know what the next step is after that. And it's, so I'm like, I'm keeping the bigger picture in mind, but I'm not rehearsing that as much.
Here's the thing that I think that you are like a pit bull in that you don't ever really sort of second guess the big idea. Like, once you make a decision, it's sort of already there.
Well,
it's like,
because it's right and good and true.
It's the truth.
If I've made the decision, it's the right decision.
God has decided.
Yes.
I wonder if all of that, like all of your Christian upbringing was taught you to be like, this is what the Lord has said.
Yeah.
Therefore we're doing. And then all of your actions can just follow. Never get anything back on the table, and you just follow on. But I think it's a really cool virtue of you. Like,
it's probably, it has a lot of shadow sides too, but
it does. And for me, the shadow side is like, I have to keep pulling that out in order to order my world. Like, I have to keep on being like, yeah, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? But the good side for me too is like, I never end up brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of.
Or really headed down the wrong path for a long time.
Because I'm always reassessing, like, wait a minute, why are we doing this? Wait a minute, why are we doing this?
Which kind of drives me crazy about you, because I'm like, why are you keep asking why we're, like, we know why we're doing this. Quit asking the question.
But sometimes it comes in clutch.
You're right.
And so I guess
it brings me back to center, like, okay.
Yeah. And so, to further this idea of of the Hindu way of looking at chaos and order is they present this thing in the Bhagavad Gita, which is one of their sacred. It's one of their sacred texts.
Okay.
And they're
Bhagavad
Gita.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's pretty short. It's a really cool. I don't have time.
Okay.
I can't. Right?
All right.
I want to so bad, but I can't. All right. But what they say in it is, you really shouldn't be focused.
Okay.
On the fruit of action, in order to develop a discipline. You should not be weighing success or failure.
Okay.
In order to bring a discipline into your life and bring order into your life and avoid chaos, you should not be attached to success or failure. You should just do the discipline.
Okay, so what I heard you say when you first started was that you should be less worried about the outcome of something and more concerned about the action.
Right.
Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay, I totally agree with that. Completely. And what do you think they mean about don't worry about the success or failure of it?
Okay. Here's a way I think of it. Salespeople.
Okay, well,
right?
Totally right.
I mean, come on.
when I'm training, staff
right
to sell, it's not like you're saying, "Hey, Kris, go out and sell life insurance."
Okay, but stop.
What?
A person who comes to you to get a job,
has
a big picture in their mind. They're like, "This is my career.
Sure.
This is what I'm going to do. And how do I do it? I'm going to make sales." And then you come along and do what?
I'm like, well, you don't think about the sales. That's great. There's a big picture that you're going to sell because that's how we all get paid.
But you say you're not trying to make a sale.
No, the point is that if I was going to train you, I would say, quit saying, I need to make a sale by the end of the day. That's not the objective because you actually can't control if you're going to make the sale by the end of the day.
Okay, now we're getting into it.
What you can control is your action, which is why I think
how many phone calls you can make.
Right. What they're saying in this, this.
Go ahead, Bhagavad Gita.
Book. They're saying, don't be as concerned about the outcome as the action, which is, I think people get in chaos when they only look at the outcome and then they're like, all these external things are affecting the outcome and all these things that I can't control. And so it's a bad goal when you can't control it, but what you can control is your action. So in a sales world, we say, don't worry about the sale at the end of the day. Don't worry about having that sale at the end of the day. Know that you need to make 10 calls and one of those will come in and be a sale. But if your only action that you can control is the 10 calls. So be worried about the action and not worried about the outcome because the outcome will come if you're actually doing something that gets you to the goal.
Right. And that is actually called discipline.
Yes.
It's actually called something. And the Hindus call it, they say the equanimity between success and failure, or the impartiality between success and failure is discipline.
Yes.
That's the thing. And so so how does that jive or play into the whole idea of chaotic people?
Well, I think when you
are they too focused on the big picture? So, let me just ask you this.
Yeah.
So for instance, there's been people in your life, in my life too, where I'm like, okay, you need to quit that person.
For sure.
Give me a break.
Block.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The first time that they didn't come home that night when they said they would is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But maybe they're too focused on the big picture.
Right. He's going to end up being this wonderful, I know I'll groom him into this wonderful person.
They're attached to the fruit.
Mm-hmm. Without actually analyzing all of the disciplines, all of the actions, all of the small steps.
Sure.
What would you call it? It's you're so chaotic people.
Chaos.
Thank
Whatever.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Is perpetuated when you stop looking at the little things that are making up the chaos.
That's what I'm talking about.
When you stop going you just look at the chaos and then you're focused on the chaos, which then you start to make decisions that cause more chaos because you're not actually looking at the things that led up to that.
You're so deeply in chaos.
Right. Which is why chaotic people perpetuate more chaos.
And they magnet to each other.
They're attracted. It's the law of attraction. Chaos attracts
Breeds
chaos.
and it attracts chaos. And so
breeds it and attracts it.
Yeah, I would say like if you're sitting back and like, shaking your head at your chaotic wife, go ahead, take a look at yourself.
No, you're right.
Am I right?
Well, and I find
you're a
chaotic friends find chaotic friends.
Which comes down to the point that you were making, like you don't let chaos or chaotic people into your life anymore.
No, who's got time for that stuff?
Not me.
Well, and beyond that, I just don't want it in my life. I literally, and I've said this for years now, I want to actually do everything I can to float through life. Like, and I don't mean that. I don't mean that
the easiest possible way.
No,
I
don't mean easiest because I do really hard things all the time.
You do.
I mean, I want.
Should we list those right now?
Oh no, I want to float through life without tripping. I don't want to be tripping all the time.
Love it. That's
and
good.
Chaos and those roots, those underlying things that are always in there will cause you to trip and trip and trip and trip. And so I want a life where I'm like, no, I'm above the root trips.
I love it. So you just look at someone and go, are you tripping? If you're tripping, I ain't tripping with you. Am I right?
That's so good.
Isn't that
Should we
good?
make a shirt out of that?
I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping.
Which means I'm not hiking with you, yo.
I'm just slipping. I ain't tripping. I am slipping.
Oh, are you going to break out into a beatbox?
Yeah.
Do it in the mic. Something about tripping? I'm not a rapper.
You were supposed to rap over that.
I
If you
know.
would have gone, we would have gone off.
Oh.
We would have gone off.
Really? A TikTok sensation?
I'm upset.
You know you're not married to that lady, right?
I know. Why are you tripping on me?
Okay, but back to
I ain't tripping. I'm slipping. It's true. I'm floating.
People that are chaotic, and you know when somebody's chaotic, tons of gossip, tons of slander, tons of
or they'll do that
drama.
They'll do that backhanded crap like on Facebook.
Right.
That's chaos,
But
dude.
you can,
like if you can't just come out and be like, I don't like the pool management. You're a chaotic dude.
and even then, why are you posting on social media? Go straight to the pool people and be like, I
That's
want
what
my money back.
That's what I said. Email Bev. She'll give you your money back. She's got plenty of money. I know her. She owns a pool.
It's an interesting thing because it's like people don't want to accept responsibility.
It's not orderly.
Well, chaos does this weird thing. I think because you're focused on external things and this like big picture, it's really easy then to like stop asking the hard question. You get distracted, so
It's easier to maintain chaos than it is order.
And people are addicted to it. People in chaos are addicted to chaos
because chaos kind of maintains itself, right? Like it just has this like boom. It's like fireworks.
If you've got these relationships where it's drama all the time,
and you're like, bring some more of that chaos over here.
Yeah,
much easier.
You'll actually go find it. You'll go find it. You'll seek out the friends who have more stuff to dish about somebody, or they're so upset about this, and they're just the drama queens of the world. And it's like, dude,
it's this adrenaline rush of chaos. You're like,
you're the person that is attracting chaos and perpetuating chaos. And if you're like that, just know that it will affect everything internally and externally.
And that's what you were saying. Like when you start, you're like, I'm quitting some people. I'm
deal breaking people. I'm like, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
That's a deal breaker.
But I think you're right. I think it's a healthy thing. In my humble opinion, I think it's a healthy thing to be able to go, that right there, that person is so in and addicted to chaos that it's just not healthy for me to be around that person.
Right.
And they're going to, in my world, it's totally out of order. I don't want to deal with it. Once I bring that sort of chaos into my life gets chaotic. And it
seeps over, man.
Absolutely.
It contaminates the ground.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is like, I feel like I guess I'm at a place in my life where, yes, I want to help people, but no, I'm not the answer man.
Right.
And there does come it just comes to a point where how much and how far you let people in, how much you're willing to go like, oh no, this isn't chaotic. Like,
yeah.
this is perfectly normal and orderly.
This is totally normal. Yeah.
Like, I'm just not willing to exist like that anymore.
No, and I think it's a fallacy to think that chaos means somebody needs help.
Oh my goodness. Wait a second. That's okay. Here's the other thing is it's so funny sometimes when people are super chaotic, one way to like get out of it is to like ask for help
or just seek counsel or
include people in your life. But what I find is so interesting is chaotic people don't really want an answer.
No, they're not really looking for help usually. That's usually not the case. And because when it's posed to them or when there's obvious answers around that could easily be sought out.
Because I know that if I'm like depressed or something or super like down, I'm not looking for anyone to fix me.
No.
I'm looking to be honest with all of this, whatever I'm feeling, right?
Right.
And that's kind of like the chaotic people where they're, when they're addicted to chaos and they're really doing it, they're in it.
And don't want to get out of it if they're not asking those harder questions.
And they don't really want to get out of it if they haven't brought in some advice, if they haven't been like, you know what, here are the things that I have to do. Here are the things I have to put in order.
It's beyond the advice even. It's like if they're not looking for the answer and implementing what needs to happen, then you're talking about somebody who like, or they're looking for advice from other people that are in chaos. And you're like, okay, you don't actually want to know the answer because you're asking the people that are getting it wrong.
You're getting people to agree with your craziness.
Yes.
And that happens so much. And then if you don't agree with their craziness, oh my goodness, watch out because it's like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
They will like really.
So you can gauge the people in your life by saying like, I don't know. I need to actually be honest with myself. They're not, I need to stop excusing this as like, I need to still be friends with them or I need to still include them in my life because they need help. Well, actually, are they asking for your help?
They don't want it.
And is what you provide help or are you just part of the chaos? And
I've been there before and I know exactly what that feels like. It's like you're not really asking for help, which is why I'm like, so there's a piece that I don't like, or there's a thing I don't like to do in my life and I don't like to ask for help. When I'm asking questions, I don't necessarily want the answer sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I love perspective and all that kind of thing, but like, I'm the kind of guy who's like, I can't really be told, I have to be shown.
Yes.
Right. And some of my kids are like that. And some of my friends are like that. Other people are much wiser and they can just be told. They don't have to be shown. More and more I can be told, but I would just say my sort of default is I have to be shown. So I would say this. Another indication that someone's in chaos isn't just that they're not asking for answers and they're not asking for counsels. It's that they're not including anyone in a real way. They're just not including anyone in their life. For actual input. Other than like answer people or like other chaotic people.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. So I don't know it's necessarily like, I'm going to go out and just ask for the answer. I'm not even sure if that's a real thing. Mm-hmm. But I will say for sure, if you're with someone or if someone is with someone who's just not including people, like really including people in their life, they're going crazy.
Well, it's more usually is breeding more chaos because when you're in a state of chaos, you oftentimes can't see, even if the answer is there, you're not seeing it that well because there's other things at play.
Exactly.
So we have to kind of dissect it and say like, oh, we all need the supports that are in our lives,
right,
to bring things to order.
Right.
So how do you get out of chaos?
Well, that's just it. That's what I'm saying. Like for me, the way that like when I start to edge into chaos, like when my external world is kind of falling apart, or I realize, oh my goodness, I don't really have any friends right now, or like whatever it is, or like everything I have right now is broken. My truck doesn't run. My sewing machine is broken. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is tending towards chaos.
Okay.
For me, the first thing that I have to do, like I said earlier, is I have to organize and order myself inwardly. Mm-hmm. I have to get the big picture. Like I have to get the why on the table. Yeah. And I have to go, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Mm-hmm. And then I have to like, what do I love? Mm-hmm. Like who do I love? Mm-hmm. And that always plays a factor. Who do I love? And that directs so much of my action. And then like the third thing for me really is that like, wait a minute. Do I have like a vision for my life? Like, do I have like, oh no, this is because this is who I want to be. Like, this is who I want to become and what I want to accomplish. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm working on becoming a bag designer. So therefore I do have to have a car that runs so that I can go to the store. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, that's like, if I can get my place, that gets me back to like, and not only that, I would say another thing is, and this, I don't know, it may come off right or wrong or chaotic or orderly, but I have to rehearse the fact that I'm not special, but I am really special. So there's this weird thing of like life's rules and mishaps and weird things that happen and bad things that happen to me.
Right.
But they happen to me for really special reasons, for really important reasons.
And do you at the same time acknowledge that they happen to everyone?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not special.
Right.
Everybody has this. Everyone has the struggle. Everyone has to go through these things.
Everyone has times of chaos.
Right. But if I thought I was special in that, or I was singled out in that, I would have never, like, I would never do anything. I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's right. I'm an evil person and I'm being punished. Or, oh, that's right. Like I have the worst luck in the world. Whatever that is. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm not special.
Right.
But I am really special.
And you're saying you are really special. I really like this, but I think what you're saying is you're really special because
I have a sacred duty. I have a dharma
there's
that I have to pull off.
that this is guiding you towards. All this.
Yes, I have people
actions.
that I have to love. I have people that I have to inspire. Like I have some beauty that I have to bring into the world. There's something that Kris Carmody was born to do, to bring into the world. And sometimes I have glimpses of that, and sometimes I get to do that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where like I have to go there. Like if I can't do that kind of often, I tend towards chaos.
And so
I make stupid decisions.
I think that's why like maybe some people are really prone to reduce chaos by like meditation and prayer and you know certain forms of exercise. Or
don't you think it's true with you? Or like what do you do to get out of chaos?
I would say that I work a little bit differently in that I don't tend to, I mean, I will meditate and things like that, but really those aren't the things that actually make me peaceful. The things that make me peaceful are the small actions that order my external life.
I would totally attest to that.
And I
am very thankful for that.
You got to do what works for you, but you have to know how you operate and pick kind of one or the other and say like, okay, I understand that I'm feeling angst right now. I'm feeling anxiety. I feel chaotic. I feel confused.
Right.
What are the small steps I could be taking right now to get myself out of that? Whether that's you're like me and you need to start ordering some external things, bringing some disciplines in.
I love that because that does bring it down to like, I can do this.
Right. Sure. Or you're like you and you go, okay, I probably need to sit down or tell myself right now why I'm doing this, who do I love, what this is affecting, and that'll help me make some steps forward. But either way, I really like this concept. I love this concept of forgetting the moralization of good and evil and classifying people into those categories, but rather saying, we all have these elements of chaos and not chaos, and
chaos and order.
And sometimes some people are more prone, and you have to decide if you want those kind of people in your life. And when you see elements of chaos in your own life, you have to go, what am I going to do to get out of this?
I would much prefer to be live in order.
Absolutely. That's that floating through life thing.
I love it.
Like I'm going to float through life, and I'm going to trip as little as possible.
Don't be tripping. I will say though, the thing that rings true is you have to have a little of both, but you're going to lean towards one or the other, right? Like you have to always keep big picture. I mean, because you're talking about like you're a big picture gal.
How you get out of chaos.
Yes, when we're talking about how to get out.
What you control.
Exactly. What you control. Like you're a big picture kind of chick.
Yes.
You like that?
A big picture chick.
Is that bad?
No, it sounds weird.
I don't know.
It's cute.
It didn't. Okay. But you're big picture.
Yeah. I'm visionary for sure.
But you do tend towards like, I know exactly the 50 things I have to do tonight before I can get there.
I'm an implementer more than anything else. I have vision, but I'm an implementer at the core of who I am.
And I think the core of who I am is like, I'm a visionary. Like
you're much more of a dreamer than an implementer, which is awesome. Like I so appreciate that about you because you'll see dreams much differently than I will.
Right.
And I think in turn, it makes you kind of dream bigger in general than I do. But yeah, it's just different.
But I guess the point is you have to have both, and you're going to tend towards one or the other.
Yes, and a life of order is going to get you a lot farther and going to be a lot more peaceful life.
Yeah.
Than a life of
Watch
chaos.
out for chaos. Don't be tripping, right?
Don't be tripping.
Don't be tripping.
Awesome.
Okay. Wait, babe! Babe, wait! How do we end this?
By saying thank you.
Okay, you guys are awesome. Thank you. There's nothing more encouraging than you hitting that like button and commenting.
And don't forget to subscribe.
And I know there's more. You have a list. Might as well go down the list.
Right. Okay. Watch the video of this podcast on our Beautiful Steph YouTube channel or on our website where you can actually download transcripts and show notes of the episode. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
If today's episode made your together even better, tell someone.
Okay. Now.
Right now.
Today.
Okay.
You can take one step.
It's just one step.
Toward the beautiful relationship you want in your life.
You got this.